Hi everyone! In today's video I want to talk about quicksand. That's right, the title was not clickbait. I really have been stuck in quicksand on 2 different occasions while out hiking and photographing in the desert Southwest. And since it's hiking and photography season there right now, I thought it would be a good time to share those experiences and hopefully give people some indication on how to look out for quicksand, how to avoid it, and also tell you what it was like to be stuck in it, how I got myself out, and so forth. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, I do not have any photos or video of myself stuck in quicksand. So if that's what you were hoping to see, I'm sorry. But what we are going to do is go over to the computer. I'm going to bring up the maps of the canyons, show you sort of the setup, the lay of the land, where I was, and then talk through those experiences in each canyon. And then, since this is a photography vlog after all, I want to show you the images that I made, both before and after getting stuck in the quicksand in those canyons. So that's what we're going to do today, and now let's head over to the computer. Okay, so here we are at the computer. And what I want to do today is talk about the areas where I was stuck in quicksand. In both cases, it was in the Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument, and that's in southern Utah. And it's such a wonderful place to go photographing. And so I've been spending a lot of time there over the years. And when you go there, especially if you want to get into these same kind of canyons I was in, you're going to be in Escalante, Utah. And that's the town that's right here. And Escalante is on Scenic Backway or Scenic Byway 12, which is a wonderful road that you can explore with all kinds of great stuff on it. And first let's talk a little bit about Escalante. It really is kind of the bedroom community, if you will, for the canyons of the Escalante River, which is really what this whole region is all about. And so there's a really great place to stay in Escalante. It's called the Prospector Inn. It's not real fancy, but it's clean and it's a nice place, and I've been staying there for many, many years. So I'd recommend that. And I'm going to put links to everything that I talk about today down in the description so you can see that. The Prospector Inn also has a nice restaurant in the back. Particularly, it's good for breakfast. And so that's a nice place. Try to get a ground floor room if you can, because then you can pull your car right up to your room, and it makes it so easy to load in and out, which I love to do when I've got a lot of photography and hiking and camping gear. Also in Escalante, you do not want to miss Escalante Outfitters. Not only are they a great outdoor store, but they have some good food there as well. The outdoor store, they have everything you might need if you forgot something to bring from home. And it's a nice little store, and the food is really good. The veggie pizza is fantastic, so I really recommend them as well. So anyway, if you're in Escalante, about 5 miles outside of town is Hole in the Rock Road, and this is the turnoff. And so you have this dirt road, Hole in the Rock Road. Now this is a roughly 60-mile dirt road that was first traversed by the Mormons back in the 1800s as they were settling this area, and it goes all the way to Lake Powell. And along this road there's all sorts of great stuff you've probably heard of, starting with Devil's Garden, and then it just keeps going. You have the Zebra Slot, and you have Peekaboo Canyon and Spooky Canyon, and so many other, here it is, Peekaboo Gulch and Spooky, and you keep going, and there's so many wonderful, wonderful canyons to explore. And as you can see, they all drain into the Escalante River, which is right here. And so there's even some of these where you hike in and you actually cross the Escalante River and then get into some canyons on the other side. And the Escalante River is always, when I have done it anyway, it's always nice and it's shallow and doesn't flow real fast. So the first time I forded that stream, I was worried about it, but it turns out it wasn't bad to do at all. So anyway, down this Hole in the Rock Road, we come to the place where I first got stuck in quicksand. And I was in pursuit of Broken Bow Arch, and Broken Bow Arch is in Willow Gulch. So you come down here, and here's your turnoff, and here's your trailhead right here. You just park the car, and it's a really easy walk. You just kind of descend down this little sand slope, and then you're right into the canyon. And there's a couple different ways you can go, but they kind of peter out if you don't go the right way. But you just want to head this way and follow this water course. And here's Broken Bow Arch. Now, this is a really amazing arch, and unfortunately this overhead view doesn't really show you exactly what's happening with it, but you can, let's see if I can make this go this way. Yeah, unfortunately it simulates this sort of 3D look, but you can hardly even tell this is an arch, but it just grows right out of the side of the wall here, and it's really big, and it's got a nice big opening, and so you can move all around it. And I was photographing this day from a spot over in here up this little sort of scree slope right here, and photographing into the shadow of this alcove with the morning sun. So I'd hiked in a ways and camped, but there'd been a lot of rain in the days previous, and so I didn't have any incident on the way in. I hiked in no problem and photographed the arch. And then as I was walking out though, that's when I really got into trouble. And I started following this water course back, and at some point, and at this point it's been years, I'm not exactly sure where, but it was right next to a big rock, and something like this right here. And so as I was just going by a rock, and look, this could easily be it, just like this. I was walking in the stream, which was mostly dry at this point, no problem. And one foot was on solid sand, and the next footstep I was in over my knee into this quicksand. And I mean, it was just like that. No warning, no indication. It wasn't like, oh, it's spongy, and then all of a sudden I'm in it. No, it was just bam. One step is solid, and the next step I was just right in it. And in fact, both of my instances in getting stuck in quicksand, it was exactly the same. There's literally no physical warning that you could feel. So it might be this rock here, maybe it was this one, but I mean, there's a lot of places like this where it's kind of a narrow spot. But I was right next to this rock on my left as I was heading down canyon. Actually, I'm sorry, I guess it would be up canyon. And so I had a pretty heavy pack on. I had all my 4x5 gear, and I was carrying my tripod. And I think that was really fortunate because I was, like I said, in over my knee on one leg, but the other leg was out, and I was kind of leaning back to try to not go any further into the quicksand. And then I was able to take my tripod and sort of push against this rock and lever myself out of it. And so I was able to just lay back and push and sort of lever myself out and sit back out onto the more solid ground. And that was it. It was over pretty quick. I wasn't in for very long. And of course, when you get in, you have one thing on your mind, and that's get the heck out of it real quick. And in this case, I was able to do that. So that worked out pretty well. And so, then I had to figure out another way around. So whichever spot this was, I was able to get around a different way and then make my way back to the car. So, but this is a beautiful canyon, Willow Gulch. I would really like to come back here again and have another shot at Broken Bow Arch. And so I want to show you Broken Bow Arch now and let you see what you think about that. So I like that picture pretty well. I really like the sort of the nice soft backlight and all the shapes and forms of it, and it's such a massive arch. It really is neat. So anyway, I made my way back to the car, which was here at the trailhead, and I was done with this canyon, and I haven't been back. And like I said, I'd really like to go back someday. So anyway, that's it for my first experience in quicksand. And I'm going to show you the picture again one more time and maybe zoom in and show you some details of it. And then we'll move on to the next canyon. Well, telling that story took a lot longer than I anticipated, and I don't have time in this single video to tell both Quicksand stories. So I'm going to break this up into 2 videos, and next week you'll get to hear the second story of Quicksand, which was much more recent, just a couple years ago in Harris Wash. And that one was a much more involved story. You'll want to tune in for that. I was stuck for a lot longer. I'll go into the kind of footwear that I had on and how that impacted my situation, how the friends I was with were absolutely no help whatsoever. And so it's a pretty good story, and I think you'll want to hear it. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.